Oh, hello. So it's me, Nova May Solite, and just that Ready to digest should be that by for May 2016. Alice, I was love that by the book. An interesting story. Just naban ako. I was so worried about having the perfect father-son relationship that I almost missed the incredible gift in front of me. This is written by, sino nakasulat dito? By Ron Fernier. This research was the book of that boy. Sino nakita? Oh my, is that the new logo of Reader's Digest? It's really interesting. It's interesting. Dito. Oh, ganda ng photograph niya. Photograph by Glenn Glasser. There's a run for your inner son with Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's. Yeah, that's it. That's it. My wife, my children, and I stood in front of a white, seamless wall, our noses practically touching its surface. Suddenly, the wall opened. It was a hidden door to the Oval Office. "Come on in, Fournier!" shouted George W. Bush. "Who you dragging in?" It was my last in the White House for the Associated Press. And this 2003 visit, what was a courtesy traditionally afforded to departing correspondents, I introduced my wife, Lori, and daughters, Holly and Abby, before turning to my son, Tyler, 5. "Where's Barney?" Tyler asked. The Scottish Terrier ran in, and Bush said, "Let's do the photo." As the most powerful man on earth posed, my son launched into a one-sided conversation. Scottish Terriers are called Scotties. Well, they originated from Scotland. They can be traced back to a female named Splinter Tooth. President Roosevelt had one. I cringed. Tyler is loving and brilliant, but he is what polite company calls awkward. He doesn't know when he's being too loud or talking too much. He can read facial expressions to tell when somebody is sad, curious, or bored. I've watched adults respond to Tyler with annoyed looks or pity. but first was enchanted with my son post. He changed the subject with a joke. Look at your shoes! The president told Tyler. They're ugly, just like your dad's. Taylor laughed. We were walking out when Bush grabbed me by the elbow. Laughed that boy. Here's a picture book. He said, holding my eyes. I thought I understood what he meant. It took me years to realize my mistake. Is a photo? Ah. Excuse me. We seen the connection. Fathers and sons don't always know how to talk to one another, which is why we have sports. I never felt closer to my dad than when we played catch. The film Field of Dreams later, and its idealized notion of fatherhood makes me cry every time. I assume that my son would be an athlete and we'd find common ground on a baseball diamond. But Tyler didn't like athletes. And he was terrible when forced to try. I know, because I forced him to try for years. Lori and I believe we also felt he needed to be part of a team at school. He was struggling at the academically and socially. One play date really led to a second. He had few hobbies and interests and was fixated on those he had, telling jokes, visiting bookstores, playing video games. I love Candy Crush. Building Lego models and watching TV shows about animals, U.S. history, and the presidency. After a dozen years of butting heads about athletes, Tyler and I to an agreement he could give up sports if he exercised 3 days a week and joined an extracurricular club. You get a deal, he said. Then he grew quiet. I asked what was wrong. I was afraid you wouldn't like me as much if I stopped playing sports. When Tyler was 12, Lori was watching the TV show Parenthood one night and she recognized our son in the character of Max Braverman. Max was sweet and smart. He was also rude, obvious with insects, and prone to meltdowns. Temper tantrum. His parents ricochet about exasperation, guilt, and fear. Max had Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism, which is referred as autism spectrum disorder. This was sabi ni doktor, sabi niya but the doctor had a doctor this. Had a doctor. Had a doctor. And this is the first time. Asperger's are like oh, okay. Tyler might be autistic. She told me. Watch the show. I did. Suddenly, it seemed clear what was wrong with our boy. Lori found Mitty Quinn, a psychologist who gave Tyler a battery of tests. 7 years after the awful office visit, my wife and I walk into Quinn's office to hear the results. Your boy is fascinating for something Your boy is fascinating for somebody like me, Quinn said. He's got all kinds of stuff going on, but he's just a charming kid. She said that Tyler had a pretty classic case of Asperger's. Then she dropped the bomb. He scored himself as above average on depression, Quinn said. Tyler would eventually lead a happy and successful life, but for now, she told us, he's sad. Nobody understands him. Kids made fun of him and he's left out. Thankfully, he had a sense of humor to prop him up. She added, Did you know what Tyler said when I told him he needed to show more empathy? He gave me a confident smile and said, I know, working on that. It was time for me and Lori to do some work. If Tyler felt alienated, it was because we have failed to acknowledge and accept his differences. It was so focused on the conceit that my son would be like Kevin Costner's character in Field of Dreams that I failed to see the son I had. Father-son guilt trips. Lori, the true hero of this story, sprang into action. First, she got our son transferred to a school with a program for high intellect and mainstream Asperger's like that. A move that Tyler now says was life-changing. Then she persuaded me to drop my objection to his taking stronger medications to help counteract his severe attention deficit disorder. ADHD. Earlier the ADHD associated with Asperger's. But the hardest thing was figuring out to integrate Tyler into society. Lori enrolled him in a therapy group with other socially awkward boys. More than that, thought he needed something special he could lose himself in. So Lori sent us on the road together. He would feel valued if you did this with him, she said. Inadvertently unearthing a wellspring of guilt. Sorry, I forgot to finish. If I had been around more, would we have diagnosed Tyler's condition sooner? Lori had a redemption plan. You can use a job that took you away from Tyler to help him, she said, suggesting we visit sites connected to presidents because Tyler loves history and I spent my career on the White House build. I called them guilt trips. When traveled to the homes and slasher libraries of Presidents Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, he was Tyler's favorite. John Quincy Adams, Kennedy, President Kennedy, Ford, Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and George W. Bush. Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Malapit na eh. At Lori also arranged meetings with two presidents had covered Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, which would be Bush. The project gave Tyler and weeks alone together that might otherwise been devoted to my work and his video games. Yes, I will. Tyler got to road test his lessons from social skills classes and therapy, discovering how to communicate and connect. There is a 90% chance that George Washington stood on that rock while he surveyed for the C&O Canal. A park ranger in Great Falls, Virginia, said, "Well," Tyler replied, 10% chance he was never even here. The ranger laughed and said, "That's the first time somebody has told me on that side." He and Tyler spent the next 10 minutes swapping obscure anecdotes about the nation's first president. I came to see Tyler through the eyes of others, as still he, too, was trying to master and felt proud in Quincy, Massachusetts. Tyler dominated the guide's time during a tour of the Heldham's homesteads. Tyler dominated the guide for every story the ranger told. Tyler had a question or an anecdote. I silenced him until an elderly woman noticed. What happened to that nice young fellow with all the smart questions? She asked, turning to me. You didn't tell him to shush, did you? Finally, I admire Tyler's quiet grit. A therapist had called him courageous, which I hadn't understood. How could a boy afraid of bees, needles, and dark rooms safe? But the boy who faces his fears to introduce himself to new people every day. For instance, might be the bravest person I know. I forgot to play Teddy Bear. Visit with Bill Clinton. On our second to last trip, Tyler and I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. This is for my words now. In March 2012 to meet Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. The former president opened the door to his suite atop his official library. Walking over to the windows, Clinton and I pointed to buildings. The Capitol Dome, beneath which we both outworked, the shattered remains of the newspaper where I was a State House reporter, the headquarters of one of his political benefactors. Tyler pointed to a picture, jolting us out of our reverie. It's hard to find a picture of two polars fighting. You like that? Clinton asked. You interested in polar bears? Yes, Tyler replied, repeating at high speed. It's hard to find a picture of two polar bears fighting. No space. I repeat, it's hard to find a picture of two polar bears fighting. Take it. Clinton pulled a picture off the shelf. It was actually the cover of a book called Polar Dance, Born of the Warmth Wind. No, sir, Tyler said. I couldn't possibly accept this. He must have sounded overly formal, but I was relieved to watch Tyler's training take hold. At home, he had begun to greet me and Lori by saying stiffly, in his unusually deep voice, "And how was your day?" Clinton poo-pooed Tyler's objections and led us to a table with 3 overstuffed chairs. Tyler sat rigid at first, but after 45 minutes, his hands were folded calmly in his lap and his knees were crossed, mirroring Clinton's posture. As he and the former president excitedly shared their passion for Theodore Roosevelt. Ano, let's do that. I continue. Oh, okay. He had asthma and all that when he was a kid. But Tyler, when he grew up, he became famous for being really tough, Tyler said. I actually heard once that a guy insulted him, so he punched him. Have you guys been out the Sagamore Hill yet, Tyler? Yes. Did you love it? It was awesome. Tyler said, all the trophies everywhere. Yes! Neat. I'm a huge Theodore Roosevelt fan. Clinton said, stretching out his bowel. He pulled out a 1919 edition of Roosevelt's letters to Roosevelt's children, signed it, and gave it to Tyler. I read in the notes my staff gave me that you were a big Roosevelt fan. And the moment in history when he was president was the moment in history that most closely approximates the period I served. And off he went. If you've spent time around Clinton, you've heard this. Roosevelt was the bridge to the 20th century, just as Clinton's presidency was the bridge to the 21st. Clinton's monologue lasted 10 minutes, and Clinton didn't notice that Tyler was bored. Suddenly, I thought, if even Clinton could use social cues, why worry so much about my son? Nice guy, Tyler said later. He talked a lot himself and his stuff. Like you, son? Yep. Ano yun, natawagan ng a visit with George W. Bush. For our last trip, Tyler and I went to George W. Bush Dallas office. The ex-president has his feet wrapped on a desk on a coffee cup marked POTUS, which means the President of the United States, in his hands. Do you like school? Bush asked. Very good. Very good. Tyler replied. Favorite subject? American Studies. Do you like to read? Yeah, I read all the time. I don't have a favorite topic. Fiction? Non-fiction? Sports? I don't know much about sports. Mysteries? I really don't like mysteries. Wow. Most 14-year-olds don't like to read, Bush said, stretching for a compliment. Worried that the conversation was going nowhere, I reminded Tyler to say what Clinton had told us. Oh yeah, he said. Bill Clinton sings his best. I nervously changed the subject to sports. Bush engaged with me but turned back to Tyler. So Tyler, at 14, this is probably an unfair question to ask. But do you have any idea what you'd like to be you get older? Maybe a comedian. Maybe a what? We said. A bit surprised. A comedian. Well, Bush replied, I'm a pretty objective audience. You might want to try a couple of your lines on me. Nah, Tyler demurred. I don't have any material. Interesting, you say. I've met a lot of people. You know how many people ever said, I think like to make people laugh. You're the only guy. That's awesome. Bush had connected with an impish smile. He told Tyler about the time that rocker and humanitarian Bono was scheduled to visit the White House. Was his aides worrying about their boss? Bush told us, Chief of Staff, Charles Bolton said, now you know Bono is, don't you? I said, yeah, he's married to Cher. Get it? Bush asked Tyler. Bono, Ban, Ban, Bon, Bon, Afterward, I asked Tyler about the Bono joke. He replied, sounds like something goofy you will see. For me, the exchange was an eye-opener. Rather than being thrown by Tyler's idiosyncrasies. Oh man. Bush rolled with them. He responded to every flip answer with another question. Bush, a man who famously doesn't suffer fools or preaches or propriety, gave my son the benefit of the doubt. I realized that people were more perceptive of and less judgmental toward Tyler than I was. Tyler teaches me. Thanks to the team, doctors, therapists, teachers that Lori put together, our son is learning to connect and belong. And we know he will be a happy, thriving adult. Rather than sweat over his Asperger's. I see how much I miss if he wasn't an Aspie. His humor, his bluntness, his unaffected obsessions with everything from video games to family. In the spring of 2014, my father died. Mom decided to rent a boat and scatter Dad's ashes in the Detroit River. After my mother, my siblings, and our families had hired a boat, we filled the 30-minute ride with awkward conversation. How's the job? How about those tigers? My sister Raquel lost her composure. Dashing below to find a bathroom, she almost ran into Tyler at the bottom of the stairs. He recognized her distress and said, "I don't know what you say to make you feel better, but I can give you a hug." Anyways, that was exactly what she needed. He hugged me so tight and kept hugging me. Raquel told me later, it meant the world to me. At the appointed spot, the boat stopped. Raquel poured Dad's ashes over the side while Mom stood alone behind her. My brothers made eye contact with me. What should we do? Rather than step forward to comfort Mom, I stepped back. It was not my finest hour, but Tyler exceeded my expectations. Walked over to hold his grandmother tightly. He whispered to her, "Everyone thinks I'm comforting you, but really I need comforting." Finally, I know what perfect is. It's a child blessed with the grace to show goodness, even on the worst of days. No, Tyler is not my idealized son. He is my ideal one. Sign up. I sign up. Originated by Period. Love that when you're born. The best in the That's our Arlenus. Reader's Digest website. May 2016. Basahin ko na to! Basahin ko na to ng Reader's Digest magazine. Paborito ko. Nung bata pa ako. I'm interesting. Interesting talaga. Thanks for watching with Thanks for watching.